Hello, my name is Matt Eddy, and this is the second video in my series on Photoshop. This one will be dealing with basic adjustments to the entire image, such as brightness and contrast, levels, resizing an image, and doing black and white adjustments. So, as you can see, I already have an image open, and has a slight blue cast to the image. This is caused by a erroneous white balance setting in the camera when the picture was taken. We can adjust this and fix the image, but I'll also cover, well, first I'll give you a little tour of what adjustments we have available. So if you go up to the menu items up here under image adjustments, we have levels, auto contrast, auto color, curves, brightness, color balance, brightness, contrast, black and white, hue, and saturation. In this particular image, at first, the adjustment we would probably make is auto color, or a color adjustment to get rid of the blue, and I'll try auto color. Voila, it fixed it. This may not always be the case. Sometimes it may seem to take the image and give it a different tone to it, or not quite get rid of the color that you specifically were hoping to eliminate. If you want to do this manually, what you can do is go to Image Adjustments, and we'll go to Color Balance here. Since the image has a blue cast to it, we're going to want to remove the blues, and we do it by trading for another color. So we have cyan and blue, which are both different types of blues, and a little bit of green, which is kind of in the same family. So with the cyan, we'll kind of maybe trade for red, and I'm going to make the adjustments until I kind of think that it's too much red, and then kind of the opposite with the blue. And then it doesn't look like I need too much, but I might want to add a little magenta, maybe not, depends on how you feel. So here we go, I have the image. It looks more natural, maybe slightly on the red or warm side, but that is the manual equivalent of the auto color. Now I just hit OK, would actually apply it, but I'm just going to cancel and just do other adjustments. Another basic adjustment is brightness and contrast. This is actually one of the more simple ones. If your image is too bright or too dark, you can just slide this slider right here, and it will make that adjustment. As well as adjusting the brightness, you may adjust the contrast as well. And typically these are kind of done together. You're making a little bit of both. It's nice that you get the preview, or you see the image adjustments real time as you move these sliders, as long as this preview checkbox is checked. So it's a fairly simple adjustment, and it's pretty easy to use for new users because of the fact that you do see the adjustments taking place. One of the more advanced settings is levels. If you have an image and it doesn't look quite right, one of the things you may try is hit auto levels. In this case, it's not going to do much, but on other images you may see a significant improvement in the image quality. The manual adjustment looks like this. You are basically adjusting these sliders right here. I'm not going to go into what you're actually doing, but it's fun to play with. When you first open this window, the default channel is RGB, which means all the channels, red, green, and blue. You can adjust each one individually. This can allow you to make color adjustments and corrections. But it's a little tricky because you don't really see the true effect until you've adjusted all three channels, and it might take a little bit of tweaking going back and forth. But you can see that I've removed most of the blue cast and brought it to pretty close to the natural light color. This feature down here, output levels, has to do with printing, and I'm not going to be going over that at this time. The other one I would like to go over with you is black and white. This has to do with converting the image to a black and white image. This is new in CS3, and I believe it's also available in CS4. You may be wondering why there's these colors here. This has to do with a sort of a remnant of black and white film photography. This would be simulating putting on a filter when you take the picture on the camera, such as a blue filter or a red filter. Basically what's happening, if you choose a red filter, it is making the reds in the image lighter or closer to white, and it's making the blues darker. If you select a blue filter, it's doing the opposite. These are called color contrast filters. As you can see, it changes. It's not really changing the overall contrast, it's changing the contrast between colors. So you may find that one or the other of these filter simulations may be helpful. You can also do them manually by sliding these sliders here. Or you can do none, and that's just going to convert the image over as is. Another option for going to black and white is selecting image, going to mode, and then grayscale. It's asking you to discard the color information. You hit discard, and it takes it to black and white. But you cannot add color to this image now. Any color you can see down here, my color palette is gray. I can only add grays, shades of gray, blacks, and whites. So that may not be desirable if you want to add a tone. Another option is go to Adjustments, Hue Saturation, and take under the master, take saturation down to -100, and you can see it went to black and white. You can adjust different colors individually with this adjustment option. So here, for instance, I can take red, remove all the reds. I can take yellows, remove all the yellows, etc., etc. And you get some funky color, sort of muted color action going on over there. But one of the advantages of that hue saturation, take it down to 0, hit OK, is I notice my color palette is now reddish or pink, and I can add color. I can add tones as well, such as image, go to adjustments, I can go to color balance here, and I can give it sort of a blue cast, or a red cast, or magenta, or yellow. So the image, you can still add or colors to this image. And then finally, let's talk about resizing. This is very simple. I'm going to go back to the original image. Go to Image, Image Size. You'll see it here given in pixels. You can also change it to percent if you're not comfortable with the pixel numbers. So for instance, percent, I can make the image 25% its original size. But if I don't, I can also do the opposite. I can also make the image 200% larger, but image size, percent 200. And now it'll take a sec, but it's a much larger image. Now finally, if you wanted to rotate the image, for instance you took a portrait and it's showing up as a landscape setting, you go to Image, Rotate Canvas. You can either rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, 90 degrees counterclockwise, 180 degrees flips it all the way around, or you can do arbitrary. Arbitrary means you can put in any angle that you like. In this case, it's set at 15 degrees clockwise. That's how the image adjusts. It's going to put in this white border because it's not changing the actual size of the image. For instance, from here to here is going to be the same as it was before. This overall length has changed and it's become larger. So that is how you rotate images. Again, you can undo some of your changes by clicking on in the history. And that is all for this particular one. Look out for my other videos which will be coming soon. Thank you very much. Take care.